Now, in neutral medium and in faintly alkaline medium, also KMnO4 can act as oxidizing agent. And in all the three reactions, we are using MnO4 minus, or you can say KMnO4, where it is acting as oxidizing agent. And here, I minus ion is oxidized to IO3 minus, and thiosulfate ion is oxidized to sulfate ion, and manganese Mn plus 2 ion is oxidized to MnO2. These are the oxidation reactions of KMnO4 in neutral medium, or you can say faintly alkaline medium. And here, particularly this last reaction is important. Reason here, Mn plus 2 oxidized to MnO2. In this reaction, ZnSO4, zinc sulfate, or you can say ZnO, zinc oxide, can act as catalyst. And here, KMnO4 not only used as oxidizing agent in regular chemical reactions and organic reactions, it is also used in volumetric analysis. That is the use of KMnO4. Even KMnO4 can be used as oxidizing agent, or you can say decolorizing agent, bleaching agent in cotton, wool and silk industry. Let us discuss one question. Which of the following ions has the least magnetic moment? They are asking. Options are given: copper plus 2, nickel plus 2, cobalt plus 3 and iron plus 2. Simple. Magnetic moment mu is equal to under root n into n plus 2 Bohr magneton. And here n stands for number of unpaired electrons. It is very easy. If you find more the number of unpaired electrons mu, that means magnetic moment also more. So simple thing, to have more magnetic moment, n value should be more, and if n value, I mean if number of unpaired electrons are less, magnetic moment value also less. They are asking least magnetic moment. Let us see, students. Copper atomic number 29, 4s1 3d10 is the valency configuration. Copper plus 2 means loss of 2 electrons, 4s0 3d9. d9 means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Unpaired electrons are 1. And second option is what? Say nickel plus 2. First, nickel atomic number 28, 4s2 3d8. Nickel plus 2 means 4s0 3d8. d8 means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 2 unpaired electrons are there. Next, cobalt 27, 4s2 3d7. Cobalt plus 3 is given, means loss of 3 electrons, 2 from here, 1 from here, 4s0 3d6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Unpaired electrons are 4, 1 2 3 4, because this is pair. And finally, iron atomic number 26. So 4s2 3d6, but given iron plus 2, 2 electrons lost from here, so 3d6. d6 means again same, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Unpaired electrons are 4. They are asking least magnetic moment. So least number of unpaired electrons are there in copper plus 2. So magnetic moment will be lowest. So answer is first option. And here the question is, which of the following compounds is colored? We already discussed transition metal ions, their aqueous solutions, their compounds can exhibit color property due to the presence of unpaired electrons. And options are TiCl3, FeCl3, CoCl2, students. If you break this, you will be getting Ta plus 3, BCl minus. If you break this, Fe plus 3, BCl minus. Here, Co plus 2, 2Cl minus. And here, scandium titanium. Titanium atomic number 22, 4s2, 3d2. Titanium plus 2 means loss of 2 electrons from here, 4s0 3d2. d2 means 2 unpaired electrons. As unpaired electrons are present, exhibit color property. Again here iron 26, 4s2 3d6. Iron plus 3 is given, loss of 3 electrons, 2 from here, 1 from here, 4s0 3d5 means 1 2 3 4 5. Unpaired electrons are present, exhibits color property. Cobalt 27, 4s2 3d7. Cobalt plus 2 is given, 4s0 3d7. d7 means 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Unpaired electrons are present, exhibit color property. Means in first, second and third, in all the cases you can find unpaired electrons with transition metal ions. So all are exhibiting color property. So answer is fourth option. Now the question is, which of the following pairs has same size they are asking. Options are given: zinc plus 2, hafnium plus 4, iron plus 2, nickel plus 2, zirconium plus 4, titanium plus 4, zirconium plus 4, hafnium plus 4. So the answer should be fourth option. Reason is what? Say, we learned just now 3D series, 4D series, 5D series. If you see 3D series to 4D series, size increases, but 4D series to 5D series, size remains same due to lanthanide contraction. And here if you look at fourth B group elements, titanium, zirconium and hafnium, zirconium, hafnium, they may be atomic sizes or they may be ionic sizes. They are found to be same due to lanthanide contraction. So the answer is fourth option. And here the question is, in which of the following compounds manganese shows maximum size? And here if you look at size, here first let us calculate oxidation state of manganese in each cases. Here manganese is exhibiting plus 4, here manganese plus 7, here manganese plus 2, here manganese plus 4. And if you look at all these species, in all the cases manganese is exhibiting positive charge, means all are cations, and we know that on cation, as positive charge increases, size decreases, as positive charge decreases, size increases. So answer is third option, because compared with first, second and fourth option, in third option manganese is exhibiting less positive, less the positive charge over cation, size should be more size. Third option is the answer. Here the question is, the correct order of E naught of m plus 2 oblique m values for the four successive elements they are asking. They are chromium, manganese, iron and cobalt they are asking. And here E naught of Mn plus 2 oblique Mn will be more. Okay na? And why? This reason is, here manganese plus 2 is more stable. Why manganese plus 2 is more stable? Because it has 4s0 3d5 configuration. D5 is exactly half filled, so Mn plus 2 is more stable. So the answer is second option. Because in all the cases if you see, manganese plus 2 is more stable because they are plus 2. E naught of m plus 2 oblique m they are asking, so manganese is highest, so second option is the correct one. Here they are asking, which one of the following ions exhibit DD transition and paramagnetism as well they are asking. To have DD transition means we discussed already, from T to G set of orbitals, EG set of orbitals, electrons are participating in excitation and de-excitation. So transfer is known as DD transition. To have DD transition and to have paramagnetic behavior, first of all unpaired electrons are required. And here see, in CrO4 minus 2, chromium is exhibiting plus 6, 4s0 3d0, no unpaired electron. In MnO4 minus, manganese is exhibiting plus 7, 4s0 3d0, no unpaired electron. In dichromate ion also, chromium is exhibiting plus 6, same 4s0 3d0, whereas in MnO4 minus 2, manganese is exhibiting plus 6, 4s0 3d1. One unpaired electron is present. Because of that reason, you can observe DD transition, at the same time paramagnetic behavior. So for this question, answer is fourth option. And here the question is, the N factor for K2Cr2O7 in acidic medium. See students, K2Cr2O7, if I break 2K plus Cr2O7 minus 2, Cr2O7 minus 2 in acidic medium changes to 2Cr plus 3. Here each chromium is exhibiting plus 6, such 2 chromiums are there, into 2 plus 12, and here each chromium is exhibiting plus 3, such 2 chromiums are there, into 2 plus 6, plus 12 is becoming plus 6, change in the oxidation number is 6, so this is our N factor, so answer is third option. And here the question is, which of the following group of transition metals is called coinage metals? And options are given are copper, silver, gold, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, iron, cobalt, nickel, osmium, iridium, platinum. So the answer should be first option. The reason is because first B group elements, they are copper, silver, gold. These are named as coinage metals. Why they are known as coinage metals? Because in olden days, in making coins, people used gold, silver and copper. Because of that reason, they were termed as coinage metals. And these first B group elements already we named as typical transition elements. So why they are known as typical transition elements? Because they are having incompletely filled d subshell only in their common oxidation state, not in the atomic state. So the special name given for first B group elements are what say? Coinage metals, as they were used in making coins. At the same time, they are also known as typical transition elements because they are having incompletely filled d subshell in their most common oxidation state, particularly that is +2 oxidation state. They are asking the catalyst and the promoter respectively used in Haber's process. Generally, we used to prepare ammonia in this process. N2 gas plus 3H2 gas gives rise to 2NH3 gas. In Haber's process, we are preparing ammonia, and this is a reversible reaction. To accelerate the reaction, to increase the rate of reaction, generally we are using catalyst, and that catalyst we are using is iron and promoter. The promoter we are using is molybdenum. What is the role of a catalyst in a reaction? Catalyst increases the rate of reaction, and promoter is a species which is activating the catalyst. So molybdenum is going to activate iron catalyst, and now iron catalyst is useful to enhance the rate of reaction. So the answer will be third option. Hello students, myself I am CH Bhairav Prasad, chemistry faculty, and today's topic we are discussing is D block elements. Let us start. Now here oxides and oxo anions. If you look at oxides and oxo anions, let us discuss oxides and oxo anions of D block elements. And if you look at D block elements, in D block elements, the most common oxidation state is +2. For D block elements, the most common oxidation state is what say? +2 oxidation state. And that +2 oxidation state is not exhibited by scandium. That means scandium +2 is not possible, because the oxidation state possible for scandium is what say? +3. Because of this reason, in case of D block, all D block elements can form oxides with the formula MO, in which a D block element, or we can say transition element, is exhibiting +2 oxidation state because oxygen is exhibiting -2 oxidation state. So we can say that in D block elements, or you can say in transition elements, scandium cannot form oxide with the formula MO, because scandium can form oxide with the formula SC2O3. The reason is what same? Because scandium can exhibit only +3 oxidation state. And if you see, I am writing here M. M stands for transition metal, and these transition metals are reacting with oxygen at high temperature, and at high temperature only transition metals are reacting with oxygen and forming oxides with the formula MO. Okay, transition metals are reacting with oxygen at high temperature and forming oxide with MO, and here scandium cannot form oxide with the formula MO because it is exhibiting +3, and it is forming oxide with the formula SC2O3. And we know that an element can exhibit highest oxidation state, which is equal to its group number, and we can observe that in the form of transition metal oxides. Let us see. If you look at 3rd B, 4th B, 5th B, 6th B, and so on, scandium here, titanium, vanadium, and chromium. After that, 7th B, manganese also you can have, students. And here scandium is forming
Sc2O3, titanium forms TiO2, vanadium forms V2O5, chromium forms CrO3, manganese is forming Mn2O7. And here in the form of Sc2O3, scandium is exhibiting +3, which is its highest, equal to group number. And here TiO2, in the form of TiO2, titanium is exhibiting +4, highest, which is equal to group number. And in the form of vanadium pentoxide, vanadium is exhibiting +5, highest, which is equal to group number. In the form of CrO3, chromium is exhibiting +6, highest, which is equal to group number. And manganese is exhibiting highest, manganese +7 oxidation state, which is equal to its group number in the form of Mn2O7. But after 7th B group, this series is not observed, because after manganese we are getting iron, and generally iron is exhibiting highest +3 in the form of Fe2O3. But iron can also exhibit highest +6 in the form of ferrates, but which are unstable. Yesterday we discussed in the last class, right? Now after that, here the oxides are acidic in nature, basic in nature, amphoteric in nature. How to discuss? Let us see. Now if you look at chromium, chromium can form CrO, Cr2O3 and CrO3. And here if you see, in CrO, chromium is exhibiting +2, in the form of Cr2O3 it is exhibiting +3, and in the form of CrO3 chromium is exhibiting +6 oxidation state. And if you see, from CrO to Cr2O3 and from Cr2O3 to CrO3, as oxidation number is increasing, ionic nature gradually decreases and covalent nature gradually increases. So what we can say, from CrO up to CrO3, what is happening? Ionic nature is decreasing and covalent nature is increasing, students. And here only we can say, as oxidation number is increasing, otherwise as the amount of oxygen increases, comparatively we can say acidic nature also increases, we can say. Means from CrO to Cr2O3 and from Cr2O3 to CrO3, acidic nature is gradually increasing. The reason behind this is, as the amount of oxygen comparatively increases, acidic nature increases. Otherwise, as the oxidation state of this metal ion increases, acidic nature also increases, we can say. Based on this, we can confirm that CrO is having basic nature because oxidation number is lowest, and CrO3 is acidic in nature because here oxidation number is highest, or amount of oxygen comparatively highest, whereas Cr2O3 is having amphoteric nature. Means CrO basic, Cr2O3 amphoteric, whereas CrO3 is acidic. I hope you know, amphoteric nature means the species which has both acidic properties and basic properties. Means Cr2O3 has basic properties, Cr2O3 has even acidic properties also. And here see this Mn2O7 as well as CrO3. In both the cases, here manganese is exhibiting its highest +7, and in this case chromium is exhibiting its highest +6. I told you, in metal oxides, if metal is exhibiting its highest oxidation state, then they will be acidic in nature. And how can you prove that they are acidic in nature? The proof is, when Mn2O7 is subjected to hydrolysis reaction, it is producing HMnO4, which is acid. At the same time, CrO3 also, when subjected to hydrolysis reaction, you are getting H2CrO4. In addition to that, you may get even H2Cr2O7. The species when subjected to hydrolysis reaction, particularly the metal oxide when subjected to hydrolysis reaction, if you are getting acids, then the metal oxide is having acidic nature. Here also metal oxide when subjected to hydrolysis reaction, if you are getting acid, then the metal oxide is having acidic nature, we can say. At the same time, if you look at V2O5, this is special case. In V2O5, vanadium is exhibiting its highest plus 5 oxidation state, but it is not acidic in nature. V2O5 is amphoteric in nature. V2O5 is amphoteric in nature. Means V2O5 has both acidic properties as well as basic properties. You know, V2O5 can react with base, V2O5 can react with acid. And if V2O5 interacts with base, you can say in alkaline medium, it is converted to VO4 3 minus, and V2O5 in acidic medium changes to VO2 plus. See students, V2O5 interacts with base, V2O5 interacts with acid. Means V2O5 can react with acid and base, means it is exhibiting both acidic properties as well as basic properties. Because of that reason, we consider V2O5 as amphoteric species which exhibits both acidic and basic properties. Done. Here the question is, why is chromium plus 2 reducing agent and manganese plus 3 oxidizing agent when both have D4 configuration is the question. Let us discuss chromium and manganese. If you look at chromium, atomic number 24, configuration is 4s1 3d5, and manganese atomic number 25, 4s2 3d5. And here for chromium plus 2 means loss of 2 electrons, one from here, one more from here, it become 4s0 3d4. And here given manganese plus 3 means loss of 3 electrons, 2 from here, 1 from here, 4s0 3d4. See this students, chromium plus 2 as well as manganese plus 3 both are having same valence electronic configuration 3d4. But even then chromium plus 2 behaves as reducing agent, manganese plus 3 behaving as oxidizing agent. Reason is, see, chromium plus 2 is converted to chromium plus 3, whereas manganese plus 3 is converted to manganese plus 2. Look at this reaction students, plus 2 is becoming plus 3. Plus 2 becoming plus 3 means oxidation number is increased, so it is oxidation reaction. And we know that the one which participates in oxidation reaction known as reducing agent. And here for manganese, plus 3 is becoming plus 2. Oxidation number is decreased, so it is a reduction reaction. So we know that the one which participates in reduction reaction acts as oxidizing agent. And here you may think why this is happening. The reason is chromium plus 3 means loss of 3 electrons, means 1 from here, 2 more from here, means chromium plus 3 has D3 configuration, 3D3 configuration, whereas manganese plus 2 has 3D5 configuration. I hope you understand 3D5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D5 means exactly half filled, means this is stable. When here how this is stable means D3, 1, 2, 3. If you look at this configuration, this is neither stable, it is neither half filled nor fully filled, so you may consider this as unstable. But in the last class we discussed that in presence of water molecules, which can behave as ligands, this d subshell splits into two sets of d orbitals. What they are? T2g set of d orbitals and EG set of d orbitals. In presence of water molecules or in presence of ligands only, this splitting is taking place, and from down to up energy is increasing, and according to Auber rule, electrons are first entered into low energetic T2g, so I should feel like this. And I can say now chromium plus 3 is stable species. Why this is stable? Because T2g is exactly half filled. So here what is happening? Chromium plus 2 is becoming stable chromium plus 3 because T2g is exactly half filled, so stable species, and manganese plus 3 is reduced to manganese plus 2. Reason is what? Say manganese plus 2 has 3d5 configuration, means exactly half filled, stable species. So chromium plus 2 turned into stable chromium plus 3 as it is oxidation reaction. Chromium plus 2 acts as reducing agent, and manganese plus 3 is becoming stable manganese plus 2 as this is reduction reaction. So manganese plus 3 acts as oxidizing agent. So even chromium plus 2, manganese plus 3 both are having same configuration. Chromium plus 2 acts as reducing agent, manganese plus 3 acts as oxidizing agent. Done.